Hey, it's good to see you again. Well, I hope you're ready for another fun painting because we've got a doozy in our hands today. Today I've got the canvas turned horizontal and the canvas is painted white with a little bit of linseed oil into my titanium white just to get it all slick and it's ready to go. It is so easy to paint on, real easy when you do it this way. Now, we're going to be doing a seascape today, so let's start with the sky, and you know what we got to do. You know what we got to do. We got to get out the 2-inch brush because that's the easiest way to paint skies. Now, my 2-inch brush here is made with natural hairs. That's very important because when you use natural hairs, the paint doesn't streak as much, and it just makes it it makes it look a lot nicer. Let's go ahead into our ultramarine now. And I think, I'm going to get a little bit of ultramarine, but I'm going to get a little bit of phthalo green too, just a touch of it. In fact, let's go ahead and pull out the ultramarine. Now, there's a little bit of a system we have here where we use these three colors, ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, and phthalo green. And while I'm getting started here, all the names of the colors are going to be going across the screen so you know what I'm using. What I do is I have this system where I pull all these colors out into this little area right here, and they get mixed together and they do all kinds of wonderful things. Now we've got ourselves a little bit of a cyan color or a teal color. Cyan, teal, it's all the same name. Now let's start at the very top of the canvas, and what we're going to do is we're going to do X strokes, okay? X strokes, just like that. And notice how smoothly, in fact, let's go ahead and get a little bit more color and come on from over here. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. Now look how smooth that is. Look how smooth that is. Okay? Yeah, that goes on real easy. Now the trick here is you want to start at the top so the color is more intense, because as we go toward the horizon line, which is going to be right here, the horizon line can be, well, it can really be anywhere you want on the canvas, but generally, if you look straight up, you're going to find it pretty easily. There. And I suppose whenever you look straight up and your eyes are straight ahead, that's where the horizon line is. I don't know that the horizon line can just be any place. But that's generally where it is. You can look anywhere and you can create a picture out of it, but I don't know about the horizon line. I might have misspoken on that one. Okay. Now let's take, I think I'm going to take, let's get the fan brush out, because the fan brush doesn't see enough action. Let's go ahead and make some clouds. What do you say we go ahead and take a little bit of vermilion? Just a little bit right there, just the tiniest amount on that brush. Gotta be careful with the vermilion because it's really strong. Look how much I got into the paint already. We're going to mix that with our titanium white. And we want a really, really pale vermilion here, okay? I want this to be really pale, really, really pale. We might even get a little bit of the chrome yellow in there. Ooh, that's inspired. That's a nice little orange we got there. We want a lot of titanium white in that, okay? And what we're going to do, we're going to rub it all over the brush on both sides, okay? Now we're going to go up in here and use the corner. We're just going to be real loose with our scrubbing. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to scrub, okay? That's what we do. When we run out of color, we go back in and then we just scrub again. Okay? Then we can go over here and maybe we want to go back this way. Okay? Maybe we want to. And then we'll go back in over here. Okay? We'll create some clouds this way and there. And maybe we'll create one more that kind of goes down here and there. Yeah, we'll go do one more right over here. We just want to go low enough that everything gets covered real easily, okay? Okay. Here, let me get one more pass on our clouds right there. There it goes. There it goes. All right, we got ourselves some nice little color right there. Let's go ahead and set that fan brush aside because I don't know if we're going to need them real soon or not. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my other big old brush, and you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to skip any other parts right now, and I'm just going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give it a little floof. And what I do when I do that is I take the brush, I hold it about horizontal, and then I give it a little twist as I spring it up. Because if you just do it straight, it kind of looks like the light is it looks like the clouds are getting all wispy and, or, well, not necessarily that. It's that the light is, it looks like it's kind of just starting to pull away from itself. All right. But if you add all these little curved streaks like this, it makes it look like light is penetrating. Okay, now we got that. We can turn the other side. We can just mist out the bottom of these. Find the bottom of each cloud. All right. We don't want to wreck them all. But find the bottom of each one and just give it a little mist. A little mist. There's another one. Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get that. We got that. Ooh, we got it. Yeah, we did. Okay. There it is. There it goes. And we'll go up here. And, ooh, maybe we can miss this. Yeah, you see a little thick patch of color. That might be a little highlight waiting to happen. What do you think? Yeah, I think so. Okay, we got that. Now let's go ahead and just wave it across. Wave it across. Now do this very lightly because you don't want to demolish all your colors. Okay? By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm painting on a canvas that I've already painted on before, because you can do that. You can paint on canvases and you can reuse them as much as you want. Just gotta, if you want, you can get rid of the bumps and just start all over again. Okay? Now we got all that going back there. That looks really nice. Okay, let's go ahead and set aside our other 2-incher. We've got all kinds of brushes going at once, so we don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about, ooh, you know, which color was gonna come next and all that. We're just gonna grab a new brush and paint the next thing. Yeah. Sometimes you spend a lot of time thinking about, ooh no, what color's gonna come next, and well, that's what you want to spend most of your time thinking about. But if you're spending all your time looking and cleaning brushes, sometimes you forget what you're doing, and it's hard to hop right back into action. Okay, I'm using my 1-inch now. I could have used my 2-inch. But I'm going to go right to about here. Okay, and this is just a mix of the. I don't know if I like that. Let's grab a little bit more. Maybe we'll even pull some. Yeah, we'll pull some alizarin down in there. Get some alizarin crimson and some blue in there. Not a lot. We want this to be kind of a muted turquoisey color. There it goes. Alright. So this is going to go all the way across. Just wipe it. Give it a good wipe. Okay. There it goes. There it goes. That's what we're going to do. This is going to go all the way down. Now, as we go forward, it's going to get lighter, lots lighter, and that's fine. That's totally fine. This is what we want. In fact, we can go back in here and make sure everything is all blended, all fine and everything. There. If I really wanted to keep this line straight, I could have used a piece of tape to make the water line up there, but we didn't. It's fine. Okay. Look how easy that is. We already have a whole body of water on our hands. Now, what are we going to do with it, though? We got to do some stuff to it. Can't just leave it like that, can we? I suppose we could, but then I don't know if it would look all that great. Yeah. Let's take our other fan brush, because I got a second fan brush going. And let's go ahead and, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to add a little bit of white to this. Get ourselves maybe a little bit more green in there. Ooh, yeah. This is going to be a nice color, I think. Okay. And maybe we'll just pick a spot like right about here. Maybe we'll just pick a spot like right about there. In fact, what if we... There it goes. Maybe there's this kind of, maybe the shallow end. Imagine this is the shallower end of the water, right? And the shallower end of the water has a lighter appearance than all the deep stuff out here. Yeah. You know, you see these kinds of things out in the lakes of northern Michigan, where I spend a lot of time, and they look like the prettiest things in the world. They're just fascinating to look at. It's nice to look out at them and kind of behold nature and all that. Maybe down here we'll get a little bit more of the alizarin, and we'll get some of that ultramarine in there to create kind of more of a violet color. Right about in here. Yeah, right about in there. About halfway up. There it goes. I might turn my brush sideways like this just to get some of the, I don't know, these might be like reflections and stuff. Yeah, maybe those are reflections. I don't know, you want to get all like the dark colors down before you start highlighting things with all kinds of yellows and whites and stuff. Right. There, this is looking fine. This is looking fine. Here, we might get a little bit more in there just to sparkle it up. Maybe we'll get a little bit more of the ultramarine and the alizarin, just like that. Yeah. There it goes. We'll pull it all the way over here. Why not? Why not? There. There's going to be some large rocks in there pretty soon. And let's go ahead and put that down. And now let's make some big decisions about what we want to do next. I think what I want to do is, you know what we should do? We should probably clean these old brushes, because they're getting a little dirty. Oh, that sounds like a capital idea. Here, let's clean off the fan brushes. The fan brushes are the unsung heroes. They do so much, but man, often feels like they get so little glory. Little hummingbird there. That's what we call a brush when it just kind of knocks itself against the easel like that and barely makes any noise. It just sounds like a little hummingbird flapping its wings and all that. Boy, this brush has got a lot of paint on it still. We really got it all the way up into the ferrule, didn't we? Well, it's not necessarily good. I want to be careful doing that. I meant to get the paint on both sides. I didn't mean to get it in the ferrule. Oh well, you make mistakes like that every so often. And you just try not to do it too often. Because if the paint gets in the ferrule, bristles might start to stiffen up and the brush might not handle as well. Now my bucket here, I've got odorless turpentine. So I use a 5-gallon bucket. It's filled with odorless turpentine. Don't use real turpentine because it's too flammable and it's too sticky. Just a little too much for everyone to handle. This is much easier to paint with. Okay. All right. Little hummingbird. Hummingbird the sequel. That's what that is. Just got ourselves a little bit of a taste of the same, but not necessarily unwanted. You know how those movies are, where it's more of the same, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. Cleaning off the little brush now. This one's going to make a little bit more of a sound, I think. Oop, got a little bit of paint on that. Sometimes when you wipe it off on the edge, it leaves a little bit of paint behind. It might get on your brush again. So watch out for that kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, that one made a little bit more of a sound, didn't it? Yeah, it sure did. Okay, let's wipe this bad boy off. Okay, now comes the big guns. Our 2-inchers. There's one. Showed his boss. That's what we're doing. You know, I tell you guys, I tell you people out there, every episode, it's like these paints and these tools are conspiring against me. Like they don't actually want me to paint the picture. They always want me to do something different. But I stick to my guns. Well, we just had the finale with that big brush there. Gotta clean out the other big brush, so I guess this is the encore. Okay. There it goes. Got our brushes all cleaned off, ready to go now. Well, what do you say we take our fan brush again, because I think we're going to need that. And I feel like we're going to need a little bit of we're going to need some yellow. We're going to need to create some nice little greens in here, so we're going to take the yellow, I think. In fact, I might take my little knife here, little with L-I-L, little knife. Just mix this up a little bit of a green color that we could use. There's just a little flecks of green out in the water where the sun is just kind of, well, kind of a yellowish green where the sun is just kind of shining through and wants everyone to know, hey, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. It's sunny outside. Can you feel it? Yeah. We can feel it all right. We know you're here. We noticed because our eyes hurt. There we go. All right. So maybe we'll just, oh, I don't know. There's going to be all kinds of little streaks like this out here, so we'll just kind of put them wherever, and when we need more yellow like this, we'll put out a little bit more, and maybe a little bit more like this. Yeah, just like that. In fact, we can go ahead and take the yellow and just kind of put it right on the canvas, you know? Just like that. There it goes. And what we're doing is we're just making like these are waves. You know how waves are. They kind of just do whatever they want. And occasionally we got the little ones that really like to make themselves known like that. And they go all the way down here. Okay? Yeah. You'll find the waves. You don't have to worry about it. You just pick out spots where you want a little bit more of that yellow to shine through. And then eventually it'll find its way. There it goes. Okay. Here we go. Let's go ahead and clean up that yellow. Little hummingbird, that one. That's fun. Never get enough of it. Never gets old. Alright, let's take this other one and maybe go into here and get a little of the white. And we'll get it on both sides of the brush, and we won't, I don't want to harp on this too much, but okay. And maybe over here. And maybe there's a little bit more of that in there, and okay. These are kind of just reflections here of what's in the sky and the water. What the things in the water tend to get like all scattered and everything. So you might see a few things here and there that are trying to get through, but they get blocked by all the color of the water and all that. So it can make it a little difficult for you to see through, unfortunately. But you know, you get out to see all those pretty colors in the meantime, which is definitely a plus. Yep. And all this lovely emerald green color kind of just shines through too. We'll go right over here and we'll just get another one. There it goes. There it goes. That's the way we like it. Okay. And we can make a few accents later on, I think. Here. We might go ahead and just get a little bit more of the alizarin and the phthalo green and the ultramarine on this one. Maybe right back there. Yeah. Sometimes it helps to make all those little sounds while you're painting. I swear it goes on easier that way. I swear it does. Okay, let's clean out that brush because we might need it again. Okay. Little hummingbird. Yeah, that's the way. Alright. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to take this big old knife. Alright? And I'm going to get a little bit of the ultramarine. I'm going to get a lot of the alizarin on this one. Yeah, we want a lot of alizarin, I think. And we'll get a little phthalo green too. Now, I don't know if you know it, but there's all kinds of little things you can do with this mix. You can, that's what we do when we got all mixed up. We pull it out and cut through and get that big old roll of paint like that. Alright? Now, let's go ahead here and, well, you know what? I'm going to set this brush, not this brush, but this knife down. I just call it a brush sometimes because we use it like a brush a lot. Alright, so we'll clean that, and then we'll wipe off the knife. Alright, so it's ready for action again. Try to get the edges all clean because sometimes getting a lot of paint on your knife is not necessarily a good thing. Alright, so that's clean, mostly. Mostly, I say. Wait, I didn't want to put it down. What am I doing? I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm getting all flustered. There's nothing to get flustered about. Here, we're going to scrape out the shape of these rocks is what we're going to do. Okay? You just want kind of a general shape here. The reason I do this also is I want there to be as little paint as possible while I'm painting all these little things. Alright? So I'm going to create this silhouette. And as I do this, I'm removing a lot of the excess paint. A lot of it. And that way, when I finally do put on the first layer that's supposed to be the shadow layer, or the dark layer, the base layer, I guess is what you might call it. Okay? And then, once I do that, it's going to be a lot easier. Now, let's see how this goes. Now, we're just going to pop this in. That's what we're going to do. Oh. And while we do this, we can go ahead and manipulate the shape of the way this looks. I think we might. It's okay if this looks a little bit like a light violet as you're going in and creating everything. All right. And it's okay if the rocks look all misshapen and everything. We're not focusing much on how necessarily the rocks look. We can go all the way up here actually too. Yeah, you can make this as big or small as you want. This is just an outcropping of rocks in the water. Rocks in the water. Remember, rocks, they're as free as anything else in nature. They'll do whatever they want, and, well, they come and go as they please. Well, actually, I guess rocks tend to be a little bit more movable, don't they? Well, this wouldn't be an episode of this unless I said something silly. That's one for the bingo card. I don't know how long you've been watching, but we got ourselves a running gag on here where it's we check off things on a mental bingo card every so often, so we can say that we saw something happen every episode, because there's a list of things that happen every episode, right? And one of the things is I say something silly or else I get pain in myself. That happens pretty much every episode. If it hasn't happened this episode, it probably will. It's probably already happened. I didn't even notice yet. That happens a lot. You know, pain is a funny way of getting in the strangest places. I remember one of my painting instructors from a while back used to say that. He said, he warned us. He said, paint has a funny way of getting in the strangest places, so you better watch yourself. You better put on some clothes you don't care about. You know, I've worked with children in schools and all that before, and I tell them, you're going to want to pick out some clothes that you don't like that much. And then they don't listen, and then they come to school and they get paint on their clothes and get an angry letter from the parents, and I just tell them to go kick rocks. True story. Okay, so what we can do is we can kind of just grind this into the canvas, and we pick out all these little outcroppings like this. And maybe we got one rock coming out here, and then we got another rock coming out here, and yeah, maybe this comes all the way out there. And we want to leave a little bit of space here. We want to leave a little bit of space. We want to create this nice shape, right? Right. Okay. and pick out some things. Like maybe we want this to be big and maybe other things to be small. I don't know. Maybe we want this to be a little bigger. Yeah? What do you think? Is that too big? That's getting pretty big. Maybe we should let that go now. All right. There. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. All right. Let's go ahead and maybe slap some of that back on the palette right there, and just wipe the rest of this on the paper towels. There we go. All right. Now let's take our little knife, and just take a smidge of the chrome yellow and a smidge of the vermilion. And the vermilion is so strong that it overpowers the yellow, just like that. That's why I keep telling you, you got to be careful with these kinds of things. Now, luckily, the yellow has got a little bit of a punch of its own, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. If you thought it couldn't handle it, so if you're wrong, okay, we're just gonna get a touch of the blue in this. All right, and you gotta be careful with that blue too. That blue is gonna get all over everything. Man, I should have just let this stay all yellow. Here's what we can do. We don't have to keep mixing into the same color. We can just take a little bit of the same color. All right, like that ochre color. If you don't know what an ochre is just a really brown yellow. And then we can get a little bit more of the chrome yellow, and boom, there it is. There it is. We'll just take another smidge of that vermilion like this. Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. And we can get a little bit more in there. And then we got a color that's pretty marbled now. Pretty marbled. All right. There it goes. Now let's just add a little bit of the white in there. A little bit of the white, not too much white. Just to brighten it up a little bit. If you ever want to brighten up a color, just add a little bit of white like that, okay? Okay. Now we got all that. That's a lot of paint now. I think we got enough paint to do what we want to do. And what we do is we pull it out, and we cut through. We got a little bit of a roll, and we just kind of drag it. All right? And as we drag it, the paint is automatically going to break and do all these interesting little things over here, okay? Like right up here. Decide where the shadows are coming from, because maybe it's easier. Oops. Okay. Might be easier if this comes from this way. And every so often you want to pick up some more paint like that. There you go. And maybe down here. Now, when you actually paint your rocks, you don't have to paint them exactly this way. You can go ahead and spend a lot of time on them and pick out all the little colors and everything and find out just exactly the way that each rock is supposed to look. But we don't really have that kind of time today, so we gotta go ahead and make up a few things, right? We just need these to have the appearance of rocks. So we go ahead and we create all kinds of little things, but they're not necessarily going to look like exactly the way we think rocks are going to look. Okay? I guess that's what we call a facsimile. This is just a facsimile of rocks. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, we got some nice stuff going here. All right. Now maybe we're going to have a lot more different things going down in here now that we've got all those fancy colors going up there. All right. Let's go ahead and pick out. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to use a little bit of green for this one. I want a little bit more green in this one. And I want a little bit more of that vermilion in there, because I want this to be a duller color. I want it to be a duller color, but I still want it to be, I want it to be kind of a brown that leans ever so slightly toward green. All right. So we're going to make use of this ochre mix that we had. There's no sense in wasting paint, right? Okay. And we're going to see how this looks. Ooh, that's not a bad color at all. I'm going to make it one touch brighter though. Just to add a little bit of the titanium white. A little bit of the titanium white. A little bit. And you always want to make things just one step brighter than you think you should. Because oftentimes you'll mix up some paint and you'll think to yourself, wow, that was a nice color I made, but geez, I wish I had made it a little brighter. Yeah, that happens a lot to me. That happens a lot. So don't be scared if you accidentally do that, okay? Now right here. Right here. Imagine you've got all kinds of little things happening in here like this. Yeah. Like maybe you got all these different tones of things happening. Yeah. There he goes. Like maybe in here we can... Yeah. There it goes. A lot of things you're going to notice get painted the same way. Like rocks get painted the same way, and barks get painted very similarly, and little things like that. I think the difference in stones here is that you kind of just find all the... You paint in segments. You don't paint in great large sweeps very often. Well, sometimes you do. Whereas trees are a little easier because you can paint just from side to side, and well, you pretty much got the whole thing right there. Alright, there's that. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, we're already starting to get some pretty nice colors in here. I wonder how stony this is starting to look. It's starting to look pretty nice, I think. I like the way that this looks. Alright. Alright, now maybe over here. Yeah, that's right. And then just got a big old outcropping of rocks there and stuff. Yeah, we already got a lot of colors that we need here, but we need one more. Well, we might need a couple more. I'm going to add just a little hint of the vermilion to this color. All right. I'm going to add a hint of vermilion and some chrome yellow, and I'm going to create. I want to create an orange. I want an orange. Yeah, I want a nice bright orange. Okay. I feel like I'm getting it. So a little bit of white on this, and I think we'll be there. Okay. Yeah. White is always such a nice thing to add to colors because it always makes it so much brighter. And you think that you got it right, and then white kind of changes your mind, makes you realize, oh, well, maybe I didn't have it completely right. Okay, let's go in here and just, I don't know, maybe we got some rocks that are different colors and stuff. Maybe we got stuff over here that, yeah, we're just creating rocks that got some different colors, right, there it goes. Maybe up in here, okay, there it goes, yeah, and maybe over here we'll create a little bit of something right there, and ooh, I don't know, maybe one right there, just to give it a little bit of, I guess some harmony. Here, let's throw one right here. Yeah, that's looking cool. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's a nice color. Oh, this is going to be a real lively scene. This is really going to be something, huh? Yeah, I know. This is going to be wild. I got a feeling. Whew. All those little colors out there. We're probably overdoing it at this point, I think. But anyway, let's go ahead now and here, let me set my pad down for one hot second. And let's clean this bad boy off here. Ooh. Yeah, we gotta clean that off. Every so often you gotta wipe off your knife. You don't have to get it all the way clean, not until the very end. Sometimes I get ahead of myself and I start cleaning things a little too quickly. All right, let's pull out some white here. And, ooh, I don't know, let's go into the white over here. One good way to highlight a color, if you need a lot of white in it, is just go right in the pile of white and start pulling white out after you get your color. And pretty soon you're going to have the color you want, whether you like it or not. Yeah, well, hopefully you like it, because it was what you were trying to do. Right? Okay, there. Yeah, this blue is pretty dark for a highlighter. I guess it's not necessarily a highlight. It could be more of a, I guess it could be more of a, like a shadowy kind of color here. Let's go ahead and throw this down. There it goes. Here. I need to cut off more of a roll paint on that one. Maybe the water's kind of just like getting all up in this thing's business. Yeah, maybe it's starting to get all up in there. Alright. And maybe it's starting to create all these little foamy things over here. Yeah. That's cool. That's real cool. Let's grab some of that and maybe right over there, and maybe right here. I don't know. Yeah. Now let's pull some more water up, or not more water, but white up in here, so we can get a better highlight on this. After we got a lot of paint on there, we can cut through. Well, that's too much paint on there. Here. Now let's see how this goes. We're going to create some water lines now, and we're hoping this is going to go all right. All right. This is going to be some real foamy things kind of going in there. There it goes. There. And maybe, ooh, there's some more ultramarine going up in there, and then, yeah, this is what we can do to like, this is what we can do to help our painting along, is we can start doing all these little things where we have to put water lines and stuff like that, like right here. Yeah. A little bit of white with some ultramarine is going to do that one good. There it goes. Yeah, there it goes. All right. There. That's perfect. That's perfect. All right. Now let's just go. And let's try to drag some of that ultramarine with the water right in there. There it goes. Oh, that's so handsome. Oh, I can't get enough of that. Oh yeah. Okay. That's looking mighty fine. Mighty fine. Okay, I'm very happy right now. Okay. Here. I want to get a little bit more of the darker ultramarine in there. There it goes. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Alright, this painting's going pretty well, I'd say. I'd say we're in a very good place right now. Okay. Yeah, we've already got some rocks painted. They look pretty decent. And you know what we're going to do for a lot of this? I think we're going to add a lot of that kind of foam that we just saw. Like a lot of this we can just kind of scrape off now. All this color. Yeah, we don't really need that quite so much right now. We might need it later, but maybe not right now. And thankfully we still have enough paint to complete the rest of the painting. Enough of our white. Sometimes you wonder how much white you really need, because you need a lot more white than all the other colors when you're oil painting. So thankfully, well, that white is a very cheap color. You don't have to worry too much about that one. But other times you'll be surprised. Here, it'll trip you up. Here, let's get a little bit of something. I don't know, some of these. There. Maybe there's a color going up in there, because sometimes these little colors like this kind of just sneak up on you. There. Makes it kind of feel like it's one with the rest of the painting when you do this kind of thing, where you find all the little things like that, and you find little excuses to add colors, like maybe these are like the real highlights. Like there. Okay. And maybe you go in and get that one. Okay. And maybe over here. And you kind of go around. There it goes. And is there anything else? Well, maybe I'll just get one right there. There. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Yeah, that's the glowing endorsement right there. That's not too bad. We didn't screw it up too horribly. You know, sometimes my girlfriend likes to tell me that I'm very French, the way that I phrase things, because it's almost always phrased as though it's not exactly the most positive thing in the world here. Let me get a little bit of ultramarine, or not ultramarine, but alizarin crimson and chrome yellow. Yeah, I want to take a little bit of the color that we have here. I'm going to create a brown color. Yeah, I bet you didn't see that coming, did you? Well, I don't know if you did, but it's happening right now. There it goes. Yeah, we just throw a little bit of that in there. Let's throw a little bit more blue in there. We got enough red in there. That's the thing about adding blue to colors, is that every time you add blue to a color, it loves to shift toward green. So you got to compensate for that huge curve where it wants to shift toward green by adding a lot of red. And you can do that with alizarin crimson. You can do that with vermilion. I mean, it doesn't really matter which. It's just that alizarin crimson makes better purples than vermilion does. Okay, I think we got the color. All right, let's go down in here, and we're just gonna. There's that brown. Ooh, yeah, there's that brown. Now we'll go down in here and. Okay, there we go. That's the one. Any place where you feel like things are a little naked, you can go in and add a little something to them. Just to make it look a little nicer, because maybe we got a lot of earth colors that are playing around in here because they're a little bit more in shadow than the rest of the piece. And then, luckily, we didn't get rid of our ochre color. You remember the one right here. That ochre color? Yeah. It's a nice color we got there. Okay. In fact, you can experiment by pulling it in all kinds of directions. Like maybe you want to go like that. Yeah, maybe you want to do that, or maybe you want to do this. Okay, maybe you want to get it real thick at the top here, because maybe it's supposed to be more of a highlight. Or maybe you can get it real thick up here. There. There it goes. Okay. There's where it goes. Now let's just get one right there. There. Yeah, you just play with these things till all the rocks look all mottled and everything looks all rocky. Rocky. I don't even know. It just looks like the paint is all broken up is what we're driving at here. Okay. That's really all we're getting. That's all we're looking for. Okay. Maybe go in here and get some of this, and maybe at the bottom of these. Yeah. Maybe this color kind of goes right up in here with all these others right here. This color will tell you, yeah, this side's a little darker. So, this side's a little darker. So go ahead. Alright. Maybe. Okay. There it goes. Alright. Okay. I think we got ourselves a nice set of craggy rocks. Craggy rocks. Makes it sound like they're mad, doesn't it? Yeah, I guess they would be a little mad if all these vacationers out there were walking them all day long. They might get on your bad side after a little while. Look up at all the people going all over them and say, "Get off me. I got a life too, you know. I gotta be here when the sun sets, and I gotta be here when it rises. I gotta be here when the waves come. I got a job to do. I gotta beat against them." Okay, that's probably enough time on the rocks here. Let's go ahead now and let's start imagining what it's going to be like to get ourselves a little bit of this orangey yellow color. Yeah, this nice orange yellow color. We want to get a lot of white in this, don't we? Yeah, we do. We want a lot of this orangey yellow color, I think. Okay. So we're going to need a lot of chrome yellow. And we're going to need just a touch of vermilion on this. A touch. I might have gotten more than I needed. Well, you know, that's why we add the white. Okay. That's why we add the white. There it goes. Okay. There it goes. We're just adding that just in case. Just in case things got a little too dull while we were transferring some colors. Okay. All right, and then we add just a little bit more white to make sure that we got all the color we need. Now, don't overmix this. One of my greatest sins, I like to joke a lot, is overmixing. But seriously, do not overmix, because I don't know. It's not like it's going to ruin your painting or anything. It just doesn't look as nice. Here, let's go ahead and imagine now what all this stuff is going to look like if we, okay, and then we'll just imagine that maybe this is just a bunch of surf like that right up there, and we'll take a little bit more color, and then we'll go over here. Okay, yeah, just smear the blade, smear it like that. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. When you're creating little surf lines like that, where the water's just kind of foaming up against the shore, that's all there is to it. Push it and smear. Don't be afraid to pull your knife all around, and if you need more paint, go and get it. Because who knows, maybe the lines are stronger elsewhere than others. I don't know. There. Look how much we've done already. Look how much we've done. Look how easy that was. We didn't do hardly any work at all, did we? No, we really didn't. Here, just like this, just like this. There's another one right up here, and this is gonna pull down that way, and it's gonna go over this way. There. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. We need some splash lines here to really bring this home, don't we? And you're right, we really do. Okay, well, if we need some splash lines, I know what we have to do. Let's go ahead and take our fan brush, because we need to get a lot of white here. We get a lot of white. All right, and we'll get a touch of the chrome yellow, and then we'll get a touch of the vermilion. Oh boy, did I get any paint on myself? I did not get any paint on myself, but we did get it on the edge of the palette. So you want to be real careful where you place your colors, because you can real easily get paint on your shirt. I just got it on my hand, so that's another one for the bingo card right there. Anyway, we want to load up this brush. Load it up. Load it up. Okay. Now right in here, we're going to see a lot of... Okay. Right in there. Yeah. We're just kind of tapping some things in right here, and then right up in here there's going to be more of that color. Now imagine it splashing like that. Okay, imagine it splashing. All right, let's get a little bit of medium on there, a little bit of the white and the chrome yellow and the vermilion. A little bit more of the chrome yellow, because that vermilion is so strong. All right. Okay. Now let's go ahead here. And with that liquid, with all that odorless turpentine, it's going to help us really get the splash effect here. Okay, it's going to go all the way down here. And it's going to, let me get some more white in here. Here. We need a lot of the odorless turpentine. If you ever have any doubt, just grab a little bit more. Okay? There it goes. And very lightly touch it. And you know, splashes kind of tend to go every which way too, so there. And over here we'll get a little bit of we'll get some of that right in here. There. Splash is going that way, but it's going right up against the rocks right there. There it goes. A little bit of white. As soon as you add some white, go ahead and get some more of that odorless turpentine on there. Make it real liquidy. You want this to practically be liquid coming off the brush here. Alright. There it goes. There it goes. When you get up to the rocks, just gently touch. Gently touch. Alright. And, you know, every which way, kind of just insert your way into things. There. There. There it goes. Okay. And just kind of haze it out at the end. There it goes. There it goes. We'll get a little bit more of that color at the end right here. Make it real thick at the bottom. Okay. There it goes. And down here we'll, there it goes. Just get a little bit more. Throw it wherever it needs to go. Maybe up in here. Maybe it needs to go in there. Maybe it needs to go in here too. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. That looks real nice. That looks real nice. Let's clean out this brush now. And we're going to put some finishing touches on this. Because we got about just about everything we need here. There's no need to keep fiddling with it when we got just about everything we want. I just wanted to show you how to do a little splash effect like this. Fan brush can handle just about everything. Sure seems that way, doesn't it? Okay, we got ourselves a little hummingbird on that one, didn't we? Yeah, we did. And now we're going to wipe it off on those paper towels. Okay, that's all there is to that. Now let's get out the round brush. Let's get out that round brush. And I think, let's just take a little bit of the that chrome yellow into the green mix that we have here. And I want like a little bit of, not a little bit, but actually a lot of it. A lot of it. That's what I want. Okay. And let's go ahead and maybe right here. And right over here. Maybe if we just scrub it in like that. Yeah. Scrub it all these little areas, like underneath all these little things, like right here. Not all of them, but pick a few out. And maybe that'll make the piece a little bit more interesting there. There that goes. Streak it a little bit. Just give it a streak it and make it blend out a little bit. There she goes. Okay. That looks a little better. We'll go back in here and maybe want to get a little bit more. Do we want to get a little bit more? Maybe we'll get one right here. Like that. Okay. And maybe like right out there and then right out here. And yeah, maybe that's about all we want to do out here. There. Just like that. Okay. Yeah, we don't want to fiddle around with that too much more, do we? Not too much more. But maybe just a little bit. Here. Let me rinse this off. Okay. Now we got enough of paint off there. That little hummingbird. And we can go back. We can go back. Get a little bit of the chrome yellow, a touch of the vermilion, a little bit of chrome yellow again, okay, and just a lot of white. All right, and go in here, get some of that odorless turpentine. Get a lot of it. Get it all up in your brush, all up in your brush. Okay, now right here, maybe we got a lot of stuff happening where we're got some kind of waves kind of going right there. All right, like that. And maybe we got some of that happening. And then maybe we got some of this happening down here. I thought I wasn't going to fiddle with it too much, but here I am fiddling again. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. There it goes. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my round brush again. I'm just going to get a bunch of white right here. And I'm just going to get a bunch of white. And kind of just there. That's the way. And I think now we have that wave, along with a little bit of foam at the bottom there. We got a little bit of foam in there. I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I keep thinking to myself, do I want to add things? And I'm just not sure. Well, suppose we could add a little something right here. Okay. And we could add another little something right about right there. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Here, let's rinse the brush off. Yeah. That's good. Maybe let's just get a little bit more white in here. And there. That's good. I think we can leave this alone now. And I think we've about got ourselves a finished painting. So with that, let's get that brush the old beat. Show it to his boss. And we can get out our liner brush so we can give this the old signature. Here, there's our liner brush. Now we dip it into the odorless turpentine so it flows really easily. And I run my brush through it, okay? And I get it into my odorless turpentine again, run my brush through it, because I want this to glide. I want it to go real smooth. And right down here, put my initials just like that. And now, the signature's on, we have ourselves a finished painting. Rinse off that liner brush. Be very gentle with it. It can't take a lot. It cannot take a lot. It is a very fragile brush, so be gentle with it. Treat it with care. And with that, I think it is time for me to get going. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got a lot out of this little seascape that we painted today. Showed you how to paint a little bit of foam, and that was a lot of fun to do. We painted some waves and some rocks, and well, I really enjoyed getting right down to it and seeing what we could do with it. Anyway, try it for yourself and see what you think. Or else maybe you just want to kick your feet up and relax and watch this all over again. Whatever you want to do. Anyway, it's time for me to get going, so until next time, with love from me to you, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.